Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Freedom marchers, freedom lovers, freedom family, and freedom fighters. Snapzilla gorillas in the building. Hitting y'all with this, hitting y'all upside the head with this morning paper. Yes, sir, Bubsky. Yes, sir, Bubsky. How y'all doing, huh? It is Monday, September 29th of 2025. And man, has the year flown by. The year has flown by. The year has flown by. So I hope you guys had a great weekend. Mine was pretty good. Had some rain. You know what I'm saying? Had a little rain today. Yep, not too bad, not too bad. Salute to y'all. Just to do a little housekeeping. Salute to Black Spring with Autumn, who came in, probably came in yesterday when I was supposed to be going live. I was supposed to do this yesterday, but, family stuff happened. It is what it is. But Black Spring with Autumn, salute to you for dropping the link to my book, The Seeds of Dark Matter. You guys go grab a copy. Shot Killings, good morning to you. You guys go grab you a copy of The Seeds of Dark Matter. It is $15 for the hard copy on Amazon and $3.99 for the ebook, and it's free if you have Kindle. It's free if you have Kindle, so you guys go check the book out. Salute to Real Eyes, Real Eyes. Salute. Good morning, Queen. So, it seems that the more information we get, is Black Spring and anarchists like us, Bane, Shaw Killer's ask. You see no content on her page? She has content. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe when she comes in, if she comes in this morning, she can talk about it. But I'm not sure if she's an anarchist, but I do know that she is hip to the left-right paradigm lie. I think she's more on the anarchistic side than the statist side. I'll say that. BLM, salute to you. I have zero self-control. Wonderful. I'm glad you recognize that I have zero self-control. Thank you, BLM. I'm very fragile. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, the more information we get about this Charlie Kirk thing, the less we know, right? The less we know, and this is by design. I hope you guys understand that. They want us to be confused. They want us to have so much information out there, all this opposing information, so that the confusion continues. Salute to my brother, my comrade, Coach Hudson. And also, rest in peace, rest in power to Queen Assada Shakur. She is a pure freedom fighter. They tried to get her on some false allegations way back in the day. And yeah, she was able to escape captivity in the United States and flee to Cuba, where she lived out the rest of her days. And they tried to get her back from Cuba. And I want you guys to understand something. Salute to Stormy B Man in the building. Make sure you drop that video. Make sure you drop the link, Stormy B Man. Yes. You can send it to my email. If you have BFTB's phone number, you can get my phone number from BFTB. That's one way you can do it. You get my phone number from BFTB. Drew Titan also has my email address. For some reason, when I try to tell you guys my email address, some reason you guys aren't able to get it. So you can hit up BFTB or Drew Titan. Drew Titan also has my number in the email. So you can get it to him. But yes, please share it with me. And make sure you guys drop your link, Coach Hudson, Stormy B-Man, and Black Spring with Autumn if you guys come through. Listen, I want to say this real quick. Assada Shakur fled to Cuba when she escaped captivity from the United States government, who tried to basically charge her with the murder of some pigs that killed her boyfriend, right? Killed her boyfriend, and in the exchange, you know, a couple pigs died. I forgot exactly how many. And, you know, she will. Here we go with this bullshit, y'all. Here we go with this nonsense. Let me know if I'm back. Give me a Romeo Lima Charlie in the chat. Romeo Lima Charlie if I'm back, you guys. Wow. They have really been going hard the last few days to disrupt my channel. I appreciate y'all. Thank you all for letting me know. And I found the best way to combat it is to basically back out of YouTube and come back. So Assada Shakur fled to Cuba. She was there for quite a few decades, actually. And during the Obama administration, guess who tried to negotiate with Cuba to get her back to face prosecution? The Obama administration, just so y'all know. I just wanted to let y'all know. I don't know if you guys knew or if you forgot. Obama tried to get Assada Shakur back to the United States to face prosecution. And this is the president that told us that he's not going to do anything specifically for black folks, but was able to get reparations for the Jews. He got reparations for the Japanese that were put in internment camps. He was able to get the LMNOP community to get married and all this other stuff. He went out of his way to make things happen for other specific groups, but not black folks. Anyway, and also you guys go cop some Stormy B-Man merch. This is Stormy B-Man merchandise, this cap. So I just wanted to put that to the side. I will be doing a live stream about Assada Shakur and her situation and how Obama tried to get her ass back to the United States. Anyway, a lot of information coming out about this Charlie Kirk shit, right? And the more information we get, the less we know. And that is thanks in no small part to Candace Owens. Candace Owens is one of these individuals that stirred up a lot of shit in regards to Israel possibly having something to do with Charlie Kirk's death, which I still believe, by the way. I'm not saying I don't believe that, but I'm saying Candace Owens, not just her though, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and a couple of other people close to Charlie Kirk told us basically that Charlie Kirk was not foxing with Israel in the genocide. You know, she put that out there. She put that out there. A few people, Dave Smith, you know, even Charlie Kirk's best friend, I forgot his name. So, he has a weird name, but these guys are telling us this. And Candace Owens is doing her thing. She's talking about that. And then people discover that Turning Point USA, a Turning Point USA member, took down a camera that was mounted behind Charlie Kirk, a high quality, high fidelity camera, which would, you know, if it was filming during the time of the shooting, would probably give us a lot of detail about what really happened, where he was shot from, and all these different things, right? And a lot of questions surrounding the puffiness of Here we go again. Here we go again. Someone says Kirk is a clown. I agree. I agree. But this is not. Charlie Kirk was a clown, a racist. I mean, they keep disrupting the stream. They're knocking people off. Gotta love it. So much for YouTube's new policy of not censoring people, of not disrupting people's content. Anyway, We got these cameras. We got a front-facing camera, we got a rear-facing camera, and we got a camera off to Charlie Kirk's left, right? All high-quality cameras, probably filming in 4K. Thank you, Coach Hudson. Salute to you. Probably filming in 4K. And what we get is, we get Candace Owens, right? She comes out in one video, and she tells us that she saw the footage from the rear camera, right? She got in contact with the guy that took the camera down, and she's like, look, man, just send me the footage. This needs to be seen, blah, blah, blah. Tells him that the footage needs to be seen. Tells him that this should be put out there. Tells the guy that took the camera down that people need to see this, the public need to see this, so that we can all draw our own conclusions, blah, blah, blah. The guy gives her the footage. I want y'all to pay attention to this. The guy gives her the footage. And then she comes and tells us that she doesn't see this and she doesn't see that. Oh, I didn't see any blood coming out the back. I didn't see an exit wound. I didn't see this. I didn't see that, right? Now, this is the first video that she's talking about this. All right, so what did you see, Candace Owens? So you're not going to tell us what you did see, but you're going to tell us what you didn't see. You're going to debunk certain things. All right, you didn't see an exit wound come out the back. You didn't see blood in that rear-facing video footage. Okay, well, and then also, you tell us that you told the guy that gave you the footage that the footage should be released to the public. Yet, you've seen the footage, you have the footage, and you're not releasing it to the public. How are you telling this guy to release it? You get the footage, and you don't release it. What was it? What was it? So help me understand this. You tell this guy that we need to see the footage. People need to see the footage. There are a lot of, she's giving all this praise and credit to these internet, to these YouTube sleuths, to these YouTube investigators, which I have no problem with, because we should all be investigators, because we can't trust the investigators that our government puts in place to investigate, because either they're incompetent or they're fucking lying, because nothing adds up. Okay, so you have the footage. You've seen the footage. You told this guy, oh, we need to see it. Everybody needs to see it. We need to have transparency. Oh yeah, y'all need to hit the like button, y'all. The like button is free. All you got to do is double tap the screen. They make it very easy in these vertical lives for y'all to tap the screen. All you got to do is double tap. Double tap the screen. Can we get some likes up in the building? We need to have transparency. Sure. Anyway. But think about it. You tell us. You tell this guy that you need to see the footage, that everybody needs to see the footage. You give him this song and dance about transparency so that you can get the footage. But then you don't show us the footage. You just tell us what you don't see. Okay. So then, what are you liking? I don't know. Information. A different perspective. That's what you're liking. If you don't like it, then you don't have to press it. But if you guys are getting something from this content, all I'm asking is that you hit the like button. No big deal. Anyway, so you get this footage, okay, but you're not showing it to us. Then another time you come and tell us that you saw the video that Range Day did, right, where he is drawing the conclusion that Charlie Kirk was shot from the back of the neck on the right-hand side, and the exit wound came out the front of the neck on the left-hand side. Right? So you want to come tell us what in the video doesn't work? What You say because of this footage you saw. So now you're telling us that you saw the footage from the front. You saw the footage from the back. Yet you're still not giving us, you're not putting the footage out. And you're not telling us what you did see. Salute to Amanda Moran. Salute to you, Queen. I think the shot came from the camera. That's why they took it down. You think the shot came from the camera? That's a wild theory. Shirt puffs up. Range Day also goes over that. If you guys watch Range Day's latest video, it talks about this when you fire around like a rifle round, and that kinetic energy goes into the soft tissue of the human body. There is a temporary cavity that is created because of that kinetic energy, that shock wave. So when it enters into the flesh, it expands it. It creates a cavity temporarily, right? So he says because of the shock wave of the bullet and because of Charlie Kirk's neck expanding because of this temporary cavity, it's puffing the shirt up, okay? So you guys can go check that out. But here's my thing. I'm going to play you guys some audio from Candace Owens where she's talking about Range Day's video. Mind you, Miranda Jane says, this dude again, then why are you here? See, let me get you out of here. Bye-bye. Salutations. See, you come by, and you think, oh, this dude again. All you got to do is keep scrolling. Instead, you decide to waste your time and write a comment. You guys are something else. Anyway, so we're going to play this, right? So she's going to talk about Range Day and the video, and she's going to get into what she wants to debunk. But you're not giving us any information. You have all this beautiful, high fidelity, high quality footage, but you won't release the footage your damn self. Mind you, this is the same woman that told the guy she got the footage from that people need to see the footage. What's up, Candace? I mean, you already put your neck out there, pun intended, when you decided to bring up Israel and bring up how Charlie Kirk refused money from Israel, how he refused the trip to Israel from Benjamin Nosferatu. You might as well just go ahead and put everything out there. Why not? Instead, you want to play these games. Why is that? So let's play this.
It's debt.com/Candace. Again, that's pdsdebt.com. And it is Range Day Bro on YouTube. And the video is just absolutely viral. It's got 6 million views. And by the way, I am so happy that it's got 6 million views. Everybody investigating this is exactly what we need. And nope.
Now, mind you, she just said she's happy that it got 6 million views. Range Day's video, I'm pretty sure you guys know about it by now.
Is going to be perfect. We're going to get things wrong, and we can only work with the information that's been given to us, and for whatever reason, it's very limited.
Now, she just said we can only work with the information that's given to us, and the information is very limited. Except she has information. She has more information than any other content creator out here doing their investigations.
So every time anything that I'm debunking here is just because I want to help focus his investigation.
She wants to debunk. What did I tell you guys about debunking? There's a difference between rebutting and debunking. If you're going to debunk a theory, if you're going to debunk aspects of a theory, what the fuck? Siri, shut up.
I don't have an answer for that.
Siri, mind your own goddamn business.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Anyway, when you debunk something, you are providing facts and information, tangible facts and information, receipts. So if you're going to debunk something, that means that if you're opposing a certain aspect of a theory, like she's getting ready to do, then you don't just use your fucking words. You don't say, no, I didn't see that. No, when I saw what I saw, I didn't see that. Oh, it was a chain. It was this, it was that. I saw from the back footage that it was Charlie Kirk's chain. Okay, well, show us the footage that shows us it's his chain. No, you're not doing that. So you debunk nothing. Let's just understand that. I hope we do understand that.
But so he presents an argument that you can see a muzzle flash, and there is one element of his video where he shows what he believes to be blood splatter as an entry point on Charlie's neck. So we can watch that. Take a listen.
Now, mind you, in this part of the video, she's showing the footage from range day. That's a crucial point here. She is showing the footage from range day.
And in that video, you can see the same, what appears to be the bullet coming down, and it does line up with the actual gunshot itself.
They're not counting gang violence.
So this video was created by a friend of mine who is a Marine. You'll see him here at the end. This is the angle he is showing the shot coming from, showing where Charlie.
Now you see, she's capable of showing footage from range day video. She's doing that.
Was sitting and the angle of the shot, which will correspond with this video here, which unfortunately we will blur out Charlie's face, but we will show what is necessary to prove that this was an entry and exit wound. So you'll see him circle the highlighted area right there, and you'll see the exit wound corresponding after, split second after, as it would from an entry and exit wound. So in this footage, you can clearly see that Charlie is shot from his back right, and there is blood splatter coming out of the entry wound.
Okay, so what I can immediately.
Now, mind you, during old boy from range day's entire, what he's explaining, she's showing you the footage of this guy explaining what he saw. He thought he saw a spurt of blood come out from behind Charlie Kirk's ear, and he thought that was because that's where the bullet entered, right? She's showing you what he is explaining. Well, he's showing you what he's explaining, and she is showing you as well. She's showing you his video. She's able to do that. She wants to show you that.
Help with, because I have
Shot from his back right, and there is blood splatter coming out of the entry wound.
Okay, so what I can immediately help with, because I have so much footage and clearer footage of that, is that's actually not blood splatter.
She has so much footage, so much clearer footage of that. Okay, let's let her repeat that.
Coming out of the entry wound.
Okay, so what I can immediately help with, because I have so much footage and clearer footage of that,
So much footage and clearer footage of that.
is that's actually not blood splatter. And I was very surprised by this. It's his.
Now, she just told you that she has so much clearer footage of what range day saw. See, he had footage of, he had blurry, low fidelity footage, which is, I don't understand that, because it's 2025. Why are we still, why are they still putting out footage, grainy ass footage? Why are they still putting out grainy ass footage? Right? Where you can get clear, you can get pretty clear footage from a 1080p, right? Why is all this footage that we have access to so pixelated and unclear? All right, so again, I just showed you guys that when she's telling you guys what range day is saying, she's showing his video. She's showing clips of his video on her channel. But she's going to tell you that she's going to debunk something. And I told you guys about debunking. In order to debunk something, you have to provide Unequivocal. Facts. You have to provide the receipts that back up what you're saying if you're going to say that you're debunking something, because guess what Range Day did? He showed receipts of what he believed. Did he not? She was able to show you that.
His necklace. That is his necklace. And it was one of the things that struck me as odd, and I got
Shot from his back right, and there is blood splatter coming out of the entry wound.
okay. So what I can immediately help with, because I have so much footage and clearer footage of that, is that's actually not blood.
She has so much footage and clear footage. Is she going to show you the footage as she's debunking this? Is she going to show you her footage? Let's see.
Splatter, and I was very surprised by this. It's his necklace. That is his necklace. And it was one of the things that struck me as odd, and I saw the back footage, and then I have clear footage from the front, and the necklace goes first. And if I'm looking at it, it looks like it breaks from here, and then it comes up and it whips up. That is Charlie's necklace chain.
Did she show the footage? Where is it?
So I hope that sort of helps focus that, and I don't know if that helps change.
No, it doesn't help focus shit. Where is your footage, Candace? You're talking about clear footage, this footage, that footage. You got front footage, back footage. It's the chain whipping up. Well, guess what? Some other guy with his own videos showed that what he thought was whipping up was the microphone, right? The microphone cord that was popping up. You're saying it's a necklace, but we saw footage of the earpiece coming out. We saw footage of that. Slowed down, freeze framed. See, that's actual, you can probably call that debunking. You're not debunking shit. So what I saw was an earpiece coming up and the cord that it was attached to, that was going around. You're talking about a necklace. Okay, so let me ask y'all a question. If from what she saw, from the angle she saw a chain. From an angle that somebody else provided footage of, we saw an earpiece. But the footage that Range Day is going over from a completely different angle, from a different camera, is blood, a spurt of blood. I posit this. All those things can be true at the same time. Let me see what y'all talking about. Cameras all over the campus, full HD. Yeah, but we're not getting full HD footage, are we? Oli says it's clear what he got shot from. I think it's clear. Tammy Rag says there was a clip somewhere from someone, is Charlie's earpiece. Yes, but she's telling you she has clearer footage, much clearer footage that shows it's his necklace. You saw footage of an earpiece. Range Day showed footage of what appeared to possibly be blood spurt coming out. You said what she said got beeped out. She said quite a bit. Ambitious Jamie says, salute to you, Queen. Salute to the ambitious Jamie. She loves attention. I was a fan of hers in the beginning. Over time, started getting more known. I noticed she became an attention seeker. Well, a lot of these guys are. Right, Michael D. They put out grainy footage. Listen, they have all the information. They know exactly what happened. They know what happened. We will never know exactly what happened. It will be 20, 30 years from now, and no one would have any clear information to make any conclusions, draw any conclusions. Right? That's what I think. Snake Eyes the movie. Yeah, I know about that. It's very, very interesting. Now, Here's what could have happened with the Snake Eyes thing, right? Maybe it was predictive programming, right? But maybe they saw the movie Snake Eyes and they said, you know what? There are a lot of things that appear to be the same. There are a lot of things in this Snake Eyes movie we could use to commit this assassination against Charlie Kirk. We'll find some guy named Tyler Robinson. We got Charlie Kirk. We got this, we got that. Let's set it up. Let's do it like that. And then when people find out, they'll look at Snake Eyes and they'll say, oh, look, Snake Eyes. And they'll say it's predictive programming. That'll create more confusion. It'll make it look a lot more crazy. It'll muddy the waters. Right? Do I think that when Snake Eyes came out, because in 98, Charlie Kirk was a kid. Yeah, I don't think they thought when they made the movie Snake Eyes, you know what, in 2025, we're going to kill some guy named Charlie Kirk. No, what I think happened is that they took things from that movie and they made sure that when Assassination occurred, there are a lot of coincidences with that movie. That's what I think happened. But understand though, Candace Owens is debunking blood splatter shit, but she's not providing no information. She's not providing any video footage. She's just telling us, she expects us to take her word for it.
Your opinion at all. I wanted to add that. The second thing is I wanted to show you a photo, a different angle of where that flash that he is looking at came from. Because the thing that I don't understand is that particular window doesn't.
Now, she's going to show, she's talking about the flash that Range Day also pointed out, which I believe is a reflection, right? That flash, I don't know why people aren't talking about this. I don't know why people are saying why they're making this so complicated. It could be the reflection of the flash, the muzzle flash. That's what I believe it is. I think it's the reflection of the muzzle flash coming off of the window. A reflection. Obviously, they didn't shoot through the window, right? But look what she does.
Open. So if you're saying it's inside, and I might be wrong, so you can see, and I hope I have this right. If I'm wrong, please let me know, and I will adjust it immediately. But that window is from that zone, which they call like the flag hall, which is where that person actually shot the footage. He's on the other side of it.
Now, that footage is not from the footage she says she has. She's using footage that has nothing to do with anything that came from the camera she's talking about. But she continuously shows this footage from other shit, but she won't show us her footage. Yes, I think Candace Owens is sold out. But I think now, because she's doing this, right? She had this whole thing about Israel, right? Charlie Kirk and Israel. How they were having... Oli says, dude, the TPUPSA dude, read my comment. He let her watch it because they are friends. Oli, what don't you understand about what I said? She told the guy from TPUSA that people need to see this footage. That's how she convinced him to give her the footage. She convinced him to give her the footage because she told him that people need to see this, that he should not be hogging this information. So she gets it and doesn't share it. And she doesn't tell you what she actually sees on the footage. She doesn't talk about any of that. Slick Sock says he didn't have an earpiece. I don't know what he had. I heard TPUSA said he didn't have an earpiece. Hey. You can't post footage like that, of that on YouTube without being demonetized. Footage of what? People are showing footage of Charlie Kirk getting shot through the neck. What are you talking about? Fuck monetization. If you want to put the truth out there, you say you want people to know the truth. You think Candace Owens doesn't have money? You know her husband is wealthy? What does she need a couple $100 on a video for? Don't put it out on YouTube. Put it out in somewhere else. Give it to a news station. Give it to MSNBC. Give it to CNN. What are you talking about? Monetization. Anti-Shield says, love from South Africa. Salute to you. I hope you get the Zionism problem solved. Shit. You and me both. Young 144 says, in the actual footage, she shows the necklace and it was broken. Okay, we'll see that. We'll see it.
Where we saw the person running across the roof. That's basically above the underpass. And so you can see from, there was another peak.
Guys talking about this bush up here in the top left of this photo.
Now she's showing this.
And he's stating that it does look suspicious. It does look suspicious. It looks like there is a person right here. And it looks like there is a rifle.
He did always
right
wear a
here,
necklace, yes.
That the person is holding a hand here, a support hand, sort of very blurry image, but you can clearly make out that this is not just a bush. This is a human skin tone right here. And
KP1995 says Erica knows exactly what happened. Yes, that's what she said, according to a TPUSA member. That law enforcement called her and asked her, does she know what's? She said she knows everything. Now, where did she show? Somebody said she showed the necklace break. Where are we seeing that? When did she show that?
With human head and hair.
She talked about the necklace, but she didn't show any footage of the necklace breaking or whatever. She didn't show that. She's on to the Bushman now. She's on to the Bush rifleman.
And a rifle in the exact kind of crucifix shape of an AR-15 with an optic on it mounted up.
So what I can say, and I'm looking at my minute-to-minute text messages because I sent somebody there on the ground to get me pictures of that bush today, and I agree with you. In the smaller, in the photos that I'm looking at today, the bush, you can kind of see through it. And in the image that you have.
Someone says, Range Day and his ballistics don't follow physics, my friend. What are the physics? What physics are you referring to? It does. So now I don't believe that that someone fired from this bush, because that trajectory does not match where he believes Charlie Kirk got shot through. It doesn't match that. But everything else lines up. The physics does match. Sisson says, I stood by Candace. I thought she would be the first female president. I thought she was awesome, but then she flipped the script. I mean, this is what these people do. AI could very well have made it blurry. Candace Ladeau says, yes, it could very well have. I don't know how to beatbox. Who was the first person to make a statement? He was one. Yes, Benjamin Nosferatu was one of the first people to make a statement. Now, again, someone said that she showed footage of a necklace breaking. When did she show that? When did she show that?
Granted, it is grainy. It doesn't seem like you can see through it. The reality is that there was more footage which showed the person that they allege is Tyler Robinson walking with a woman who they don't know who that is, and that he changes clothes. So I'm not sure if there was more footage on the side of the house. There's another angle, but there was allegedly footage of Tyler changing clothes, and he is with an unidentified woman. What I will say is I have established connection with that individual, and it's a solid lead, and it's only going to get more.
She's telling us she has solid leads, but when is she going to share them with us? Where is this footage that y'all talking about? Somebody said that she has footage of the necklace. Where?
Check out. All right, you guys, what is on your mind? Let me get to your comments.
She's done. Where's the footage? Where's the footage that she's showing a necklace breaking? Where? Where was it? Where is the footage that you're talking about? You said she showed footage of the necklace breaking. She's married to a Jesuit? Yeah. Now, here's my problem. I don't understand why, if she has this footage, she's not sharing the footage. Because it's not like it's going to put her more at risk, right? The very idea that she has the footage would put her at risk. So you might as well show it, right? She doesn't even tell us what she believes based on the footage she saw on whether or not Charlie Kirk was shot from the front or shot from right here. Why not? Why not? El Guerrero says, bro, she don't want to get a law involved. Too many people would get dragged in for questioning and paperwork. Well, they should. They should. If it's more to it and more people involved than what the FBI would like us to believe, then they should drag more people in for the. Why not? Aren't we the law and order party? Right? That's the conservative party, right? The Republican Party. Aren't y'all about law and order? Don't y'all want the law to get involved? Yes. Like Coach Hudson says, double tap that screen, y'all. What do I think happened? Well, I'm going to talk about the key component that all these debunkers, the debunkers of the range day video, aren't talking about. They're talking about other things in that video, but they're not talking about this crucial component where range day shows that in the front, Charlie, you can see that after they show what appears to be blood coming out, you can see the skin on the front of his neck pull out like this before the hole appears. You can see it pull out looking like a little cone, looking like a flesh bullet coming out. What does that mean? That means that if the skin is pulling out before the hole appears, then that is where the exit wound is. On top of that, the exit wound is relatively small compared to what an exit wound would look like from a 30-06. So I believe he was shot from the right-hand side and it came out the front-hand side based on the footage of that. You could actually see it if you go watch range day video. But these debunkers aren't talking about that. They're talking about the Bushman. They're talking about the muzzle flash. They're talking about the necklace in the earpiece. They're not talking about this, where it clearly shows, right? But again, you have to consider now that they have footage of one of the cameras to Charlie Kirk's right. There's footage from that angle that shows a chair magically going through a table. The chair just goes through the table. How is that possible? The shit, right? Where do you usually see something like that happening? AI videos, right? AI videos. Gibson 454 says it's rebound from the bullet impact. And if the bullets are FMJ standard target or military surplus, they don't make large exit wounds. Well, you have to consider the caliber of the round, not just whether or not it's FMJ. A full metal jacket 30-06 round is going to leave a much larger exit wound simply because of the kinetic energy due to the velocity of the bullet itself and the size of the round is significantly larger than a 5.56, is significantly larger than a 22 LR, significantly larger than a 223. So the round, the slug itself, is larger, is going to have more kinetic energy, is going to leave a larger temporary cavity, which might blow Charlie Kirk's neck up. I mean, there's footage out there of people firing into things with a 30-06. Anyway, these are things that I am looking at. Royal Speak says medical examiner also said there was no exit wound and the bullet was batted under the skin. Why are we continuing to talk about the exit wound? Because that's a bunch of bullshit. That's why. That's why Royal Speak, because it's bullshit. Is that a good enough answer for you? It's the same size as a 7.62 or a 38. It's just a 30 cal. What is that? So what? What are you talking about? What does that say? What are you talking about, Jay? It's the same size as 7.62 or 308? Just 30 cal? What does that mean? A 7.62 round is much larger. A 308 is much larger than a 5.56 or 22 LR. Darlene Wolf says he was shot from the right side and the exit was out the other side. Exit. Yeah, because a 7.62 round or a 308 is going to be much larger than that, the exit wound, and it might just blow a big ass hole in your neck or blow your neck up altogether. Point blank and period. No, now I don't think the shooting itself was fake. I think the footage they put out surrounding it, some of it is fake. That's what I believe. All right, that's what I believe. Hold on. Hold on just a second. Because we have to understand that there's a lot of shit they aren't telling us, and there's a lot of shit they are telling us that aren't lining up. And the reason this is so important is because if they can do this to somebody like Charlie Kirk, right? If they can do this to someone like Charlie Kirk, right? Who was very divisive and very controversial and was essentially pro-American, right? Wasn't he pro-American? He was a nationalist. He was pro-American. He was MAGA, right? He was a law and order guy. All these things. Yet they were able to do that to him. And in all likelihood, the real killer will never be discovered. And in all likelihood, Tyler Robinson will probably be released if they do a proper investigation and they handle things properly in court. If Tyler Robinson was set up and he wasn't a paid actor, he will probably be released because the ballistics don't add up. The trajectory doesn't add up. Then we're hearing, oh, there was an autopsy. Oh, there was no autopsy. Well, in the state of Utah, there must be an autopsy after a death like Charlie Kirk's. But they tell you that Erica Kirk came and had the body released into her custody without the autopsy. How is she able to do it if she did it? A lot of interesting things about Erica Kirk as well. About certain connections she had back in the day before she met Charlie Kirk. A lot of information coming out that doesn't add up. A lot of information comes out that makes certain people look kind of weird. Someone says she had the autopsy. Where's the autopsy report? Yes, crime scene had no red tape. You got people moving around shit in the crime scene. You got this guy moving Charlie Kirk's chair to take the camera down. You got all kind of shit going on. This guy, Renegade in 1294, Tyler doesn't look like the guy in the photos. Who knows, man? But, right, the fact that people are questioning things, the fact that you guys are questioning things, whether you agree with me or not, at least you're questioning it. You're here, right? You're here listening to me, and you're trying to see, well, what can I present that brings any doubt to what the FBI is telling us? Well, we know that Kash Patel is looking real bad right now. He's looking like a goofball, isn't he? There are going to be a lot of patsies, a lot of fall guys in this whole situation. Kash Patel will be one of them. Kash Patel is going to be one of the guys that gets sold down the river. Just like James Comey is getting sold down the river right now. They're going after James Comey. Right? Patel wasn't a fit for the job. That's exactly why you guys are going to accept it, right? You guys are going to blame Kash Patel. That's what they want you to do. Because if the narrative doesn't fit what people are discovering, what people are looking at, where ballistic experts online are looking at, just because they're online and with a YouTube channel does not mean they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But this is what they want you to believe. They want y'all to believe that, oh, these are just conspiracy theorists on YouTube. They don't know what they're talking about. But these are ex-snipers. These are special forces guys. These are military guys. These are hunters that use these weapons. But then they'll throw in one or two ex-snipers, like the guy that sits on a chair, on a stool, and is telling you guys he's debunking everything but this whole thing right here. He's debunking, but he's not showing you any facts. He's not debunking with any receipts or information. He's just telling you, oh, well, this is possible based on this, and that's possible based on this. Oh, well, if you look at the foot per second versus the frames per minute and the blah, 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 and the woo, 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 you at 2,000 feet per second, blah. Salute to Queen Mother Shaquila in the building. Salute to my surrogate mother on YouTube. Okay, well, I told you guys the other day that the feet per second of a 30-06 at 145 meters is not 2,000 feet per second. It's more like 2,800 feet per second. So the 2,000 feet per second does not match at 145 feet, yards. Here, there's a chart here. So if you look at a 30-06 versus a 308 wind, all right, the 30-06 has slightly lower velocity. Now this is 150 grain. If you look at this, right? Damn it, the hell. All right. Now, if you look at this, at less than 200 yards, right? Now, this is the distance in yards down here. So let's say this is 150. 150 is like right here where that red dot starts. A little more than 150. 2,500 feet per second. So that would put, for what he said to make sense, that would have to put Tyler Robinson at closer to 250 yards. Because that's what this is at. At 250 yards, or no, at 150 yards around that, you got you got over 2,500 feet per second. I don't think Robinson did it either, Roxanne Kamal. That's a 30-6. Okay, so he told y'all 2,000 feet per second. No, at 145 or 150 yards, it's more than 2,000 feet per second. So, if you look at, though, let's look at a 5.56 round. If you look, let me find the right chart. Let me see. No, that's trajectory. No, I want velocity, motherfucker, not trajectory. No, god damn it. Anyway, I had this damn shit the other day. Anyway, y'all. Oh, hold up. It wasn't that. It was a 22 LR that I looked at. So what I'm saying, guys, is the shit ain't adding up. The shit will continue to not add up. It's 2,800 feet per second at the muzzle. It's slower than that by the time it hits the target. Much slow, maybe slower. Yeah. Flexo says, I'll be interested to hear the court case. Everyone should listen. I don't think there's going to be an open court case. I think it's going to be closed. It's going to be closed to the public, in my opinion. They're not going to. Yeah, they're not going to show that. That's not going to be a thing. I don't think they're going to show that, y'all. To be honest with you. I don't think so. All right, now, if you look at the, damn it. I don't know why it's so hard to find now. It's very interesting that I can't find. When I'm looking for a 22 LR velocity chart. And I'm having a hard time finding it. It's telling you the muzzle, right? The muzzle velocity, barrel length. I want to talk about the distance. What velocity the round has at certain distances. Interesting. I'm clearly asking for a velocity chart. Hold on. No, not barrel length. Listen, y'all. 30-6 does not add up. Right? You're not going to get 2,000 feet per second at 150 yards from a 30-6 rifle. With that barrel length, I think it was 22 inches, you're going to get closer to 2,800 feet per second. So in order to get to the 2,000 feet per second, you got to go further out. You got to go out to closer to 300 yards. Well, where they say Tyler Robinson, no, there was no armor. Am I a ballistics expert? Not as much of an expert as some guys. No, I'm not going to say I'm a ballistics expert. But I don't know why I can't. Oh, goodness. No, not what? I said no barrel length, motherfucker. You're not going to get 2,000 feet per second at 145 yards, 150 yards. You're going to get much higher than that. You're going to get closer to 3,000 feet per second. None of this has anything to do with you. Oh, you think it doesn't? You think that what happened to Charlie Kirk doesn't have anything to do with me? You don't think it has anything to do with you, but it does. Because if they can take their leader out and have all this mystery surrounding it, and they're handing you this guy and they say, this guy did it, but it doesn't add up. They're just doing everything just like that. And none of the information is adding up. And there's so much confusion. You got Candace Owens telling us, oh, well, yeah, I got all this footage. But she's not showing the footage. And we just accept it and we dismiss it. And we say, oh, yeah, Charlie Kirk. I wasn't rocking with Charlie Kirk. Fuck him. I didn't fuck with Charlie Kirk. I don't like Charlie Kirk. But guess what? He had a right to say what he was saying, even if he was wrong. He had a right to be wrong when he was saying what he was saying. It's up to people that know better to challenge him. But if he was taken out because of what he said, that's a problem. If he was taken out because of what he said against Israel, that's a bigger problem. Or what he allowed to be said against Israel on his platform. And they saw, oh, this dude's getting a little bit too big for his britches. And they decided to handle it and take care of the business. And they said, you know what, pimpin'? You doing a little too much. But you're not doing it enough. So we can just take you out because you're not openly and blatantly speaking out against Israel like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. You're just letting people go up on your platform and do it. And you trying to be slick. But you're still espousing this divisive language in your country. So we can use that against you. We can have you killed and make it look like a leftist did it. And it would make sense to a lot of people because you're still spitting that rhetoric. You're still doing that left versus right paradigm bullshit. You see that Candace Owens stopped focusing on that. You see that Tucker Carlson stopped focusing on that and was focusing on Israel. Openly. And they're still alive. Because if they get taken out, they might look at Israel more readily than they're looking at Israel right now with Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk was still doing what? Going around spitting this bullshit, giving you half-ass information, creating division, creating controversy. Lee says snake eyes. I know the thing about snake eyes. I know. I heard it. It is a lot of coincidences with snake eyes. Yes, Charlie Kirk also said but no, Charlie Kirk did say, I'm going to stop talking about the Epstein files. Did he not? You see, he took half measures. When you take half measures, you leave yourself open to being vulnerable to an attack. If you take half measures, this is exactly what happens. If Charlie Kirk went full on, if he went all in, he probably would still be alive right now. James Arnold says that white supremacist Charlie Kirk will be forgotten in less than a month. Perhaps. And that would be a problem, y'all. Bobby JJ says 100% it was the weaponized lapel mic. I don't know, man. I can't roll with that. Not right now. Not with the way everything happened. I don't think it'll be forgotten either. But what's going to happen is that you're going to forget about Israel when they do this trial. This trial that's not going to be open. It's going to be a closed trial, but they're going to give you leaks. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They're going to give you things. They're going to tell you, oh, this was proven, that was proven. If Tyler Robinson even makes it to the trial alive, from what I understand, I think he has an arraignment this week. Marvin Evans says Charlie's own fashion did that to him. Maybe. There is some interesting things about Erica Kirk's past. Apparently, she was in a beauty pageant in Arizona when she was 17 years old. A beauty pageant that was put on by Donald Trump, from what I understand. And then she went over to Romania. She went over to Romania on like a missionary type thing, right? With this organization, something about, I forgot what the organization was called. I'll do something on that later. I'll come back and I'll talk about that later. But shout out to the Controversy 7 for bringing this to my attention. Someone says, who cares? I just explained why you should care, Wilbert Howard. But if you don't want to see it, that's okay. Anyway, so she went over to Romania with this organization. And apparently the organization got kicked out of Romania because Romania, there were children coming up missing. Children were coming up missing. And guess what? They think that the organization she belonged to has something to do with those missing children. Very, very interesting. So I'm going to be talking more about that. I'll share the Controversy 7 video. Y'all go check that out because he's going to get full credit. But I will do a little bit more research on that, and I'll talk about it as well. Am I claiming he was a white supremacist? Yes. A white wannabe supremacist, I'll say. Yeah. I think he was, sure. But, you know, that's irrelevant in this case right now, because I don't think that Charlie Kirk was killed because he was a white supremacist. I don't think Charlie Kirk was murdered or assassinated because he was a white supremacist. Someone says wrong. Okay, that's your belief. And someone says far from it. That's okay too. I've done live streams in the past talking about why I believe he was a white supremacist. I'm not going to get into that here. Someone says dumbest dude ever. But yet you're here listening to me and writing in my comment section. Someone says evidence. I go over that in previous live streams. This is about why I believe Charlie Kirk was really killed. Sure, I'm just trying to get views. Why not? Isn't that why we're on YouTube, to get views? What's wrong with y'all? But what I'm also doing, I'm trying to get views so that y'all can see that we should question and we should think critically about what we're being told about this death. Someone says, I just joined. He's leaving. Okay, bye. Here, let me help you out. You ain't got to tell me. You can just not be here. Self-censorship is a beautiful thing, y'all. And here y'all go trying to focus on my race, trying to, you know, whatever. You never seen a white man look like me, but it is what it is. Stephen Wayne says, wait, was Candace or somebody close to in the crowd? Candace wasn't there. But he encourages me to check out Amir Odom on that point and many other of his supposed beliefs. Amir Odom. I'll check it out. I don't think Candace Owens was there. She wasn't there. Someone says, question yourself. Y'all don't even have any clever or original talking points. JM says this has Israel written all over it. I believe so. Someone called me a coal beast, and then someone else called me a white man. Y'all don't even know what y'all talking about. Freedom said, I just got here. Evidence gives you credibility. There must be some evidence you can present. What do you want evidence of, Freedom? Evidence of what? See, I didn't bring up whether or not Charlie Kirk was a white supremacist. Someone asked a question. But I did show you evidence of what I was doing this live stream for. I told you that Candace Owens says she has this footage. This much clearer and much better footage of Charlie Kirk getting shot. Yet she hasn't released the footage. She hasn't shown any of the footage she has. And I showed you when going over her video that she does not show us any footage. That's what I proved. But when someone asks me a question, I answer it, and it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, I don't have to provide shit. Because I told you where you can go to find out why I believe Charlie Kirk was a white supremacist. But that's not what this is about. Y'all want to make it about that because you want to be a distraction. Or, you know, you have fear in your heart that our government might be a little bit more nefarious, and so that shatters your optimism bias. What did Charlie Kirk say about Israel? Quite a few things. Yes, Candace says a lot of stuff. A lot of people says a lot of stuff. Some of it is going to be true. Some of it's not going to be true. Some of it is going to be steeped in subterfuge and coded language, and she's going to tell us what she didn't see, but not what she did see. When she could tell us what she saw in the video. She can tell us what she believes based on what she saw in the video, but she's not doing that, is she? She basically told us that she is going to, you know, give us things piece by piece. But that's all I got for now, y'all. From the rib with honey says, speak your truth. I will, Queen. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, Queen. Because guess what? This is my channel. I can talk about whatever I want. You guys don't have to be here. You guys can self-censor. But you guys are clearly interested in what I have to say. And there's nothing wrong with that, even if you don't agree with me. Because I like to do that too. People I don't agree with, I like to go listen and see what they have to say, because you might get a different perspective. You might come a little bit closer to the truth. See, that's what happens when you listen to opposing views of people who are genuinely believing what they're saying, and it's genuine. It has to be genuine, and it can't be steeped in deliberate misinformation. Then you can come closer to the truth. Cassidy said it's about time people start asking questions and not just believing what they want us to. Thank you for speaking on this. More people need to hear this. I appreciate you, Cassidy. Salute to you, Queen. Because think about it. Candace Owens probably knows everything. Erica Kirk probably knows everything. And as far as Candace Owens is concerned, she probably knows a lot of shit that she does not want to put out there because she fears something might happen to her. But guess what, Candace? Let me encourage you. If you happen to see this, the cat's already out the bag, sweetheart. If there's someone out there that believes you have information that they don't want out, they already believe that whether you put the information out or not. So why hold back? Why keep it from the public? You're safer to actually put it out there. That'll give you more protection. So I don't know why she's not putting it out. Nicholas Kennedy says he was not a supremacist. Sure, buddy. He certainly was not you're right about that. He wasn't a supremacist. You're right. Absolutely right. He was killed because of his influence. I believe that, JM. I believe that. And I believe that the people that were using his influence for their agenda, when he started to flip, they understood that his influence can go in a different direction against them. Yeah. Marvelous Marvin says she agrees. Salute to you, Queen. You think Candace is honest? Alice says, maybe she is. She just needs to put the footage out. She just tells what she saw. If Candace is the truth, then she just needs to continue to be the truth and tell us what the footage shows. You got this footage. Show us. Be more honest. I didn't say she wasn't honest. I didn't say she was full of shit. I said, you're telling us you have this footage, but you're not showing it to us. You're showing the footage from the guys you're debunking based on footage you have, but you're not showing us footage. So you haven't debunked anything. In order to debunk what Range Day is saying, in order to debunk what others are saying, you have to show us information that goes against that definitively. That's how you debunk things. Because Range Day showed us something. Salute to Slim Hussein. Salute to Stray Godzilla in the building. Salute to y'all. BB Kilmer says, big Candace fan here, but she's starting to come across as unhinged. I don't think she's coming across as unhinged. I just think that she feels like probably if she's honest and if she's a real person, if she's really trying to find out and put out what happened to Charlie Kirk, I think that she feels that she has to be careful about how she puts information out for her safety. But like I said, if things are going the way she thinks it's going, and she thinks the people that are involved, then they already know that she has this information. There's no point in keeping it from us. Anyway, Freedom says she has children. Yeah. So did Charlie Kirk. So did Charlie Kirk. You think they give a fuck? Where Charlie Kirk fucked up is not coming out fully and wholeheartedly against Israel and making that his mission to make sure that we knew that Israel's committing genocide and that they were using our money and our military equipment and our protection to commit their atrocities and get away with it with impunity. He should have stood on his nuts and spoke out against Israel and made that the focus of his debates, made that the focus of what he was putting out there to those children in those colleges. Probably would have been less inclined to take them out if they had anything to do with it. I'm not saying Israel did or didn't for a fact. I'm saying I believe they did, and he should have stood firm and stood on that. Just like Candace Owens did. Right? Because people think that Candace Owens is turned into a nutcase. Freedom says, of course they don't. I'm saying Candace is watching each move to protect her children. You're 100% correct. You're about saying, yeah. But, I mean, at this point, the cat's out the bag. Realize says, I truly think these people like Charlie and Candace are married to their handlers. Very possible. Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk could have been an arranged thing. I don't know. I do know that Erica Kirk has connections, very interesting connections from her past that I'm going to dive into. I'm going to present to you guys because this is very important. If she went to Romania with a organization that Romania believed had something to do with children coming up missing, that's something that we need to know about. Slim Hussein says, I think most these relationships are arranged in some way. Yeah. If Erica had, listen, the rabbit hole is deep. Charlie Kirk may very well have stood on faith. But I think his beliefs were misguided. And I think he pointed them in the wrong direction. Obviously, because he was groomed early on. He started Turning Point USA when he was 18 years old. He was backed by certain organizations from the very beginning. He was groomed. But I think he started to come into his own. He started having an awakening. He started to have an awareness. But he was still kind of steeped in the left-right, white versus black, blacks are this, whites are that bullshit. DI this, DI that, by the way. Black Spring or Autumn, just so you guys know. Well, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. What I'm gonna say is the whole thing about the black pilot. Guess what? They don't lower qualification standards for pilots. They have certain qualifications they must meet, certain training, certain schooling, and they have to get certain scores and demonstrate certain things. They don't do DI standards for pilots, just so you know, just so you understand that. Anyway. Yeah. Slim Hussein says, interesting, the Charlie Kirk story, Christian guy, and this David character, King of Israel. You talking about Dave Smith? Which David are you referring to? I'm not going to say it. What I'm going to say is, they don't lower standards based on race when it comes to certain professions, like a pilot. As a matter of fact, I know people that have gone through, black folks that have gone through pilot school. They don't give you no fucking breaks. They make it even more difficult for you. Because guess who mostly runs those schools and runs those organizations that give these licenses out, that have to go through the FAA. There are FAA qualifications. They don't just fucking, oh, well, let's lower the standard for a black pilot. No, they all have to meet the same qualifications, the same standards. There is no lowering of standards. Just so y'all know. Andrew says they don't lower standards, but they do shut the door on people who have higher standards because, no, they don't meet DUI requirements. No, they don't do that for pilots. Not for pilots. Maybe other professions, they don't do that for pilots. And guess what? Even amongst white pilots, some pilots have higher qualifications than other white pilots. One white pilot might meet the minimum qualifications, but he got hired over another white pilot because the daddy of the owner of the airline is his fucking daddy. Let's talk about lowering standards for nepotism, but y'all don't want to get into that. Anyway, thank you guys for coming through. Thank you for hitting that like button. Hit the like button again if you haven't hit the like button. Let's be real about it. Let's be real about it. Nepotism can put people in positions they don't belong in. But we don't want to talk about that. Do we? Ooh-wee. Anyway, thank you guys for coming through. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for sharing. I hope you guys going about your day and you guys when you get all this information, you're putting it together in your head and seeing if it makes sense. But that's why you got guys like me that come on here and people like me that we're not trying to give you all the facts because we don't have all of them. You know, I don't have all the facts. No one out there has all the facts except for a very few people. But they're not going to give you all the facts. Right? And so my hope is to bring awareness to how corrupt the system is in general. For something like this to happen and for the case to be handled so incompetently is an atrocity. And it shows you how useless our government is. And so my message is to spread freedom. That I want to spread the message of freedom. And every opportunity I get, I'm going to show you why we should continue to fight for freedom and that you will never be completely free under this system. And I hope one day we can get to that point. The idea is to get to that point where we have that freedom. And under this system, we don't have it. Do we live in the best country on earth that commits tyranny against us? Yes. Of all the tyrannical countries on earth, of all the corrupt countries with all the corrupt governments, we have the best corrupt government, sure. But it's still corrupt. It's still unjust. And we're still in chains. So hopefully one day we can come to a point where we can break those chains and be truly free. But there are steps that we have to take to get there, and it doesn't happen overnight. And I'm not talking about utopia, because there is no utopia under any system. Slim Hussein says, what an oxymoron. It absolutely is. Freedom is not about utopia. Freedom is about choice. Freedom is about sovereignty of self. Freedom is about someone or a few hundred people in Washington dictating how 350 million people live in this country. So with that, we the ones who live says, can you address blacks getting in universities with lower test scores? Can we talk about moving the goalpost? Can we talk about moving the goalpost? We're not moving the goalpost today. But with that, I bid you adieu. Make sure y'all hit the like button on the way out. Question everything, even what I have to say. And try to suss out your own information and draw your own conclusions based on what you know. Much love. Like, share, subscribe. And we're going to keep marching forward toward freedom and truth. Peace. Yeah, moving the goalpost. Go Zone. Yeah.